Hello, Robs. We're back with new book arrivals, number 221. This is from earlier today. And obviously, I will start with this side because there's a glaring something here or other in the fact that I don't read romance, but I bought 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 of them at a quarter a piece. So that's about what, $4.25. And I plan on selling them. I got a whole Steel Brothers, whatever that is, set. 1, 4, 8, and Steel Brothers. Hope I can flip them for about $25, maybe 30. This is another Steel Brothers. I don't know anything about these, and I don't really care about them, other than the fact that I got them really cheap, and I can sell them for decent profit and buy something that I want for myself. So that's those in a nutshell. The other series is, oh look, there's another Steel Brothers. Get in there. The other series is the Temptation Saga, and those will hopefully fetch me another 25 or so. Make $50 off, $4. That'd be nice. And then I can buy some books I want. This was the lone non-Helen Hardt book, Prepare for War by Rebecca Brown, MD, which seems to be some doomsday religious tract from 1987. First printing. Don't know what it's about. In this spiritual warfare manual, Dr. Brown writes from 7 years' experience, helping deliver over 1,000 people out of hardcore Satanism. In this sequel to Dr. Brown's best-selling book, He Came to Set the Captives Free, you will learn to stand victoriously against Satan. There's your book. What's that girl's name? Denise Kiefer. I'm talking to you, Denise. Yeah, she was the 666th subscriber to this channel, so she's entitled to a free book on Satan or whatever she wants, but I'm not sending her a $1,000 book, even though I don't have any. Recognize and deal with satanic ritualistic abuse of children. Minister in the area of deliverance. Handle the rarely discussed problems people face after deliverance. A Fatal Lie, a true story of betrayal and murder in the New South. Richmond, Virginia, July 1997. A brick row house in the city's gay Careytown district, home of 18-year-old Kelly Turtle Tibbs, legendary ringleader of the teenage lesbian scene. Walk inside, you'd be likely to find Melissa Etheridge blasting on the stereo, lots of beer, a clutch of shaven-headed young women, and Turtle's tall, possessive girlfriend, Tracy Bittner. Enter 18-year-old Stacy Hanna, a new roommate who moved east from Lynchburg and from the beginning openly carried a torch for Turtle. Stacy's attempts to drive a wedge between Turtle and Tracy backfired badly. And one night, Turtle, Tracy, and two friends literally dragged Stacy to a wooded area and kicked, slashed, and stabbed her to death in a scene straight out of a horror movie. Was this a crime of passion, a frenzy of the heart? Which one's Turtle? I'll say that's Turtle. Although they all kind of look like fucking turtles, if you ask me. Stephen King, Thinner, writing as Richard Bachman. This was a book I picked up for the sole fact that I had 4 books at 50 cents, and this would have been $2.50, and that would have reduced my roundup total if they had asked, but they did not. Beauty Killers. The true story of a successful businessman, his young lover, and their murderous rampage. He lived for her beauty, she killed for his pleasure. That's pretty good. My mother should like that. Padre Pio, the pierced priest. I don't know what that means. What do you have those? What do you have? A septum? Septum ring? Oh wait, he had stigmata in his hand, didn't he? Yeah. I have other books on Pio. I collect him and Saint Therese and all those other ones. Ernest Hemingway, The Old Man and the Sea. I bought this for the sole purpose of probably flipping it if I can for something on that one place, thriftstore.com. Not thrift store, thrift books. Or I'll just keep it in my collection since it's in very good condition. A Bintel Brief, 60 years of letters from the Lower East Side to the Jewish Daily Forward. Dear editor, recently my wife hired a Jewish servant girl who looked very dejected. We talked with her, asked her what was wrong, and she told us the following story. She comes from Lithuania. She had been in America for 3 years, blah, blah, blah. Damn, what an impossible font color to read here. The Zodiac and the Salts of Salvation, George W. Carey and Inez Perry. This is some kind of a reprint. I don't know really what it's about, but we can see. First published in 1932, The Zodiac and the Salts of Salvation is a thorough introduction to homeopathy and astrology written by George Washington Carey and Inez Eudora Perry. Dr. Carey was born in 1845 and was an American medical doctor who wrote several books during the early 20th century on biochemistry, religion, astrology, physiology, and his mineral-based theory of the origin of human health and disease. In The Zodiac and the Salts of Salvation, Dr. Carey and his co-author Perry explore the relationship between the basic biochemical cell salts or homeopathic remedies and the 12 sun signs or zodiac signs. Sounds interesting, Rob. Bought this one. I picked it up and I was like, do I want this book? And then I looked it up on eBay and it's selling for up to $45. But as you can see, somebody has laid the book flat and breached the spine, and thus still probably get $25 for it. And I plan to, since I don't like liquor. I do like beer, but plus we got someone chomped out of the corner. Trader Vic's. Whiskey River, a novel of Detroit by Lauren D. Estelman. I believe Estelman was born in Detroit. Where is he born? Does it say? I don't know, but he wrote some Detroit books, so these will go along with my collection of Elmore Leonard and a few other writers. I can't think of that right. Detroit-themed novels. Obviously, I'm not going to buy the, what are they called? The mass market paperbacks unless I can find nothing else by the author. That, I believe, is the first edition. Samuel Adams, father of the American Revolution. Samuel Adams was probably the truest statesman, as this says. He gave up his fortune. Wasn't really a large fortune, but it was enough. He had a brewery that he ran to the ground because he was not a studious brewer. Basically, everything he did was a failure. except collect taxes. He did pretty good for that, and I believe he was accused of funneling a lot of the money towards the revolutionary cause, which is pretty hilarious. When he went to the Continental Congress, I believe they had to purchase a suit of clothes for him because he dressed so shabbily, which makes him a very endearing figure in the American Revolution. Jefferson, everyone knows him. Slave master bastard. Genius behind... Hey, look, I turned right to Sally Hemings, too. The author of... Was he the author of the Declaration and the... What's it called? The Bill of Rights. Was it the Bill of Rights? Whenever it was, I can't think. Father Elijah and Apocalypse by Michael D. O'Brien. This book was interesting enough in itself that I was going to buy it, but then I found out that it's got some value, so I'll probably just sell it. Since at some point here I'm running out of room and I need to sell books. I got quite a pile of stuff I do want to sell. Very nice cover. I like it. This one likewise will be sold. I don't think it's worth that much, but I like the cover. Obviously the Raven connotation goes to Edgar Allan Poe. I don't know if... What's those bastards' name? Thrift store. Thrift books will buy this, but they probably should. Because I want to sell it to them. If not, then I won't. I will sell it at some point. Or find more books from the author and then sell it. Modern Ukrainian Short Stories, revised first edition, illustrated by H. Narbut, Ukrainian English parallel text. Maybe I can learn some Ukrainian. Today is Sunday, a holiday. The last few days I have walked like someone in love. Sometimes I have felt drowsy. I had dream-like visions of fat pies, and when I could taste them, the blood rushed in my head. I tried to imagine them visually, and when, alive, they lay before me, all pink and lovely, my heart was filled with an irresistible longing for them, and I even wrote a sonnet to pies. Pink and lovely? That doesn't sound like pie. It's like a different kind of pie. Cedar wood will grow, the earth will settle wide, only man will perish. I know a Ukrainian or two. I may give this book to them, but I don't know. We'll see. Like the cover anyway. Never bet against Occam. Is that Occam's razor or mast cell activation disease and the modern epidemics of chronic illness and medical complexity? Main reason why I got this was because thrift books will buy it from me for $3, so I figured it was... I didn't look it up. I didn't feel like looking it up on eBay, but I'm like, if they'll pay you $3, it's probably worth $50, but I don't know. I didn't look it up, as I said. If it is, I will sell it for sure. If not, it will go to thrift books. What year is it? 2016. What's it retail for? Does not say. Very heavy book, so. Here Today, Here Tomorrow, a memoir of spirit communication by Charlotte Hennessy. Here Today, Here Tomorrow is a personal history of spiritual experiences with examples of messages from those in spirit, sprinkled with humor, poetry, and philosophy, as those discarnate spirits are described, fleshed out, as the beings they were with their flaws and their glory, while on earth and in the world of spirit. The author doesn't call them dead because they're alive and still progressing, and they can be with you at the drop of a thought or whenever they choose. You may be convinced or at least intrigued. I'm definitely intrigued. You won't convince me, but accumulated quite a bit of books such as these. This last book fits into the same realm as Never Bet Against Occam, except when I left the thrift store where I paid 50 cents for this book and others, I dropped it. Well, I didn't actually drop it. It slid off the pile because I didn't want a box because all the boxes were huge. And that's what happened. You get a cracked up book and now it's probably lost half of its value. I don't know if they would even take this book in this condition now. It's very unfortunate. And if it's worth nothing, I'll just sell it or give it to, send it to thrift books. And if they reject it, then they reject it and I only lost 50 cents. That's all. That's all, Bob.